I fear that no matter what I do, I'm never going to win this game. I've truly gotten to a point where I can no longer trust myself and my decisions, especially when it comes to dating and relationships, because no matter what I do, I still consistently get the same outcome every single time.
If you keep getting the same outcomes, maybe stop doing the same thing over and over. Okay. A lot of people do this. A lot of people, me included at some point in my life, keep doing the same thing. You're literally like an insane person. You keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. And one of the biggest things, the biggest takeaways from this is that it starts with you. It starts with yourself, okay? Because you have to look within and realize that you are the common denominator in all your relationships. And then you have to actually figure out what is it about you that is attracting the wrong people? What is it about you that is attracted to the wrong people? What is it about you that is incompatible with the type of relationship that you want to have? And you have to also understand where that comes from. How did you become this way? Why do I have these tendencies? Why do I have this personality? Why do I like the things I like? And why do I dislike the things I dislike? You have to self-analyze. You have to self-analyze with an open mind. You have to set your ego aside and realize that you have to look within first before you can change things, because she's going to keep trying. You're going to keep trying the same thing and you're going to keep getting the same result. Let's see what else she says.
And this is extremely, extremely defeating and demoralizing and frustrating, because I have spent the better half of my late 20s, so I would say the past 4 years.
Her prime years, wasted and gone. You'll never get that time back.
Really digging deep into my patterns and my attachment, my shadow parts and my childhood, and really trying to figure out, why am I attracted to the types of people that I'm attracted to? What within me needs to still be worked on and healed in order to stop being attracted to these kinds of people? And every single time I feel like I have taken a step forward, or I've finally met someone that is different from the rest, they end up being worse than the people that I knew before I started any of this healing stuff.
Well, it's good. She at least tried to do the self-work. She tried to figure it out. But the thing is, it's not good enough to just know why you are the way you are. It starts with self-analysis. At least she knows that something within her needs to change. However, she's not making that change. She is coming closer to the truth and understanding why, what traumas, what about her childhood, what about her experiences has made her the way she is. But you have to go beyond that. And that's the first step, is to understand it and to see it and to acknowledge it and recognize it and be able to identify it. But you actually have to do something about it. You can't just be like, oh yeah, well, I'm traumatized because my dad left me, and now I like guys that reject me and turn their back on me and that are hard to get and inaccessible. Well, okay, now you understand why. That you're just gonna keep doing it. I mean, you actually have to, she goes quotations like heal, but there's nothing like to be quoting about that like it's some kind of like weird thing. No, you actually do have to heal. You have to heal through forgiveness. You have to heal through, Christ, through redeeming yourself, through forgiving yourself as well. And you have to put in the work. It's going to be hard. It's going to be arduous work to actually overcome these things, because it's so embedded in you sometimes that, yeah, if you don't, just knowing about it isn't going to do you any good. You have to actually put in the work. You have to actually make changes. You have to actually completely uproot who you think you are and start over.
And it just makes me wonder, what is all of this for? And I'm not going to sit here and say that all of the work that I've put into myself over the past few years hasn't been worth it, because it has. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot of things that I unfortunately cannot unlearn now that I know. But I really thought that being super intentional with myself and my process of choosing someone and just how I handle things was going to give me a different outcome. And it hasn't.
Yeah, you can have all the intentions in the world. I mean, Some women set out there with the intention to meeting and marrying a millionaire, and that's never gonna happen, right? So it's not about hoping and wishing. It's not about like you're writing your little wish lists about all the things. Now, I want a guy that's like this, and I want a guy that's like that. If you're not changing your core, if you're not really actually putting if it's not coming, if the change isn't coming from within, you're not gonna find it outside of you. It's not just as easy as going and picking a different guy. You are still you. What you got inside is still there. You have to actually change that. You have to take that out of you so that things can change. If you don't deal with the inside, you're not going to find it from outside of you. It doesn't matter if you find the right guy. It's not going to work out because you have to work what's inside.
And I can't help but continuously tell myself the saying, you're the common denominator. And the more that I tell myself this, the more that I continue to believe that there are still so many things fundamentally wrong with me. And maybe I still haven't gotten to that one thing that's keeping me from meeting someone that isn't going to screw me over like every other person has, or just be a terrible human being.
This is the thing. They're not screwing you over. You're screwing yourself over. And that's when you understand that, that's when things will begin to change for you. Okay, you are doing this to yourself. You have to stop trying to blame all these men because you're the one that's getting with these men. Okay, you're choosing to get with these men, whoever these guys are. You are the one that's choosing that. You made that decision. You cannot now go out there and blame them without also recognizing that something and again, congratulations to this woman and actually trying, because she's way ahead of all the other girls who are just saying, well, that man needs to get on my level and then nobody's good enough for me and F all these guys, blah, blah, blah. She's at least trying to work on it. At least she knows enough to know that something within her needs to change, that something within her is wrong. And, hopefully she continues to get close to it. Let's see what else she says about this. But don't go around blaming everybody you've been with in your failed relationships without stopping to understand what role you played on that, because you were with those people. You were a part of that relationship. So you are not responsible for what they did, but you are responsible for being there. You're responsible for your own actions. And what is it that attracted you to that person? Why were you with that person to begin with? If it's not somebody that was going to be good for you or that was incompatible with you. Again, not always the case, but you get the idea.
But really, the most heartbreaking part of all is, again, after spending so much time working on myself, going to therapy, and healing all of these things within me that did need to be healed, I feel like I have made zero progress. I feel like I've gotten nowhere. So much so to the point where literally the next person I meet, I'm not going to trust it because I have yet to have the evidence that I can be with someone can be with me. There's a mutual thing going on there, and it's not going to end the same way that every single other thing has. And that is the most devastating part to me, is that I can't even enjoy something that should be fun, something that should be lighthearted, because ultimately I don't trust myself, which really, really breaks my heart, because I would have thought that by now things would have been a little bit different. I at least maybe would have gotten a little bit of reward for everything that I have done to work on myself. And instead, I just continue to find myself back at square one, wondering what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? What do I have to change? And it's exhausting.
Well, you're minimizing the importance of healing, or you're looking at it too much on a surface level, because you're saying you did think you healed certain things, but just again, I feel like it's more like you acknowledge you have a problem and then said, well, again, there goes to that. And it's going to take work. It's going to take work, and it's going to take radical change. If you're still having the same outcomes, that means that's still within you. You still have that within your personality. So I don't blame her for doubting herself. It's better that she doubt herself, as long as she goes and does something about it and works on it, and she realizes that she's going about it the wrong way. She has to stop blaming all these guys, and she has to start understanding what is it about her. And she's trying to get there, so I commend her for that. If this is you, if you're in this type of situation, you have to stop and acknowledge that You are the common denominator in all your relationships. And if you want something to change, you have to stop actually doing the same thing you've been doing, because you're going to keep getting the same results. You're basically an insane person. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and stay tuned for more. I will see you on the next one.